Hello, 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 and welcome to our little fun. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. I am Kevin. These are my serious science fiction friends, and it is Saturday. So it must be time for our little Starfinder campaign. We're doing the prequel right now, and that five-part session is called Practicum because until last week, these six were students at an academy, but I get ahead of myself. Before we do that, I got to talk about some stuff and some people. The stuff is the game. It is Starfinder. Anybody who's played Pathfinder or D&D, you're going to find this really familiar. It looks so much the same. You're going to find it very easy to follow. Having said that, I am me and I have simplified the system dramatically. So those of you who are hardcore Starfinder fans may find some things are missing. Deal with it. There's things that I would do at a table with my friends when I was playing for 6-hour sessions, and there's things that I do when I'm playing with my friends in a 2-hour session, which is what we're doing tonight. So I have gutted parts of the rules, but we'll see how it works. Now, that's that technical bit. Now for the part I really enjoy. I get to introduce these people who are here playing with me tonight. These people, none of whom had ever played Starfinder before, none of whom had ever had a tremendous amount of experience in a science fiction role-playing game of any kind. Most of whom had not played, well, not most, some of whom had not even played with me before. So these are the brave. These are the not quite few, because there's 6 of them. And I'm now going to introduce them one at a time and let them tell you what they do on the other 6 nights of the week when I don't have them here. Let's just go around the screen. Let's start with playing Saga Steel for us. Wayward, tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you.
Hello, I'm Wayward Knight. Kind of overhauling all my stuff right now, but you can find me and some of my art on Redbubble at Wayward Knight. Support your artist friends.
Yes.
And I also sometimes post on the Scarred Adventure blog, which you'll find out about in a minute.
Absolutely. Next, we're just going to move right across the top row here. The engineer in this game, Frederick Carpenter, the apparently unflappable. Played for us by Nick. Hello, welcome, and what do you do when you're not here?
When I'm not here, I am full-time at university, although I part-time tutor there. It's a bit confusing and gets me a little bit wound up, which is nice, because then I show up on Fun Shop Fridays and unwind and forget about the week that happened before.
I am never going to forget Cheap Down Under. That was a great game last week. I enjoyed every second of it. Thank you for joining me for that. Thank you for joining me for this in your busy day. Next, I've known this guy since, well, longer than that beard. Roosbar, what else are you doing? I know you got a new hyper toy, so what are you streaming?
Right now, it's mostly Hunt Showdown, MechWarrior Online. I've been kind of playing around with Call of Duty Warzone, which I'm actually really enjoying, and another battle royale type game called Spellbreak, which is the same sort of idea but with magical elements instead of guns. It's a lot of fun, but I Twitch. I do that on Twitch stream as Ruspar, Ruspar.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And if I had any days off that I wasn't already working, I would watch you. But next in line, over here in the dark corner, you, me, and the rules. Sans, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you just had a show went out last week.
Yeah, I did. I directed a show for Phoenix Tears Production. So I'm an actual director and such. When the World Isn't Insane. I also direct my own films over at The Prolonged Engagement. And I also, now that I realize I need one more thing, I'll start streaming games and reboot an old show that I used to have. So
Excellent. Nice. So that takes us to the bottom row at the far end over there. I've been gaming with this guy for a long time, and through multiple characters on his part, and only one on my part, even given my best efforts to get him killed. Scarred, what are you doing?
I am working at the Scarred Adventure blog, which is a lot of fun. Of course, as said before, we have the wonderful Wayward Knight and Thunderscape 7, who is currently in chat and doing other
Yes.
stuff, wonderful things for the show. That's really the key things I want to go over. Also, I'm going to be returning to the Mercs of Mischief very soon.
Oh,
I will
excellent.
not. I will not
Nope,
say
don't
when
spoil the fun.
or anything like that, because why?
Excellent.
But still, yeah, no, I'm excited to get back to it, and I'm excited to continue Simon's journey.
Yeah, it has just begun. Which brings us finally to the most relaxed looking person sitting at this table. Barsden, what else do you do?
I'm kind of a Luddite, actually. Like, I don't stream. I don't do any of the stuff you guys seem to do. Like, this is my first like foray into streaming ever. Like, I've never done it before, so very new. Yeah, it's cool. It's been a fun, interesting experience so far. So,
But
looking
you
forward
run
to it.
games offline, right?
Yeah, I do like Roll20 stuff, but I don't really do like, I've never streamed or done anything like that
No.
with it. Just kind of playing with buds, like Nick.
Yep, absolutely. Well, welcome to the mayhem. Let it begin. That's all the officials. That's all the who everybody is. That's how I pay them, by telling them, getting to tell you where you should go and watch them after you watch us here. And with that,
I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, that's what we're all here for, man. So let's see if I can break your souls in the first 5 minutes. Let's go back down this rabbit hole. No, wrong show. Let's go back down the wormhole. Back to this universe separated a long ways in time, but not far in space from this one we call our own. You can tell because the planets in the background look suspiciously familiar. And I just realized something. Yeah, everybody. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on. Oh no, everybody's still where they're supposed to be. I thought I'd screwed things up, but I haven't. So I screwed things up by thinking I had when I hadn't. That's a new low. I have sunk. Anyway, back here, back down the wormhole into this world.
You got this.
Last week. Well, I always got this, just sometimes it doesn't look like I do. Last week, they were just the best 6 cadets in the academy out of a class of over 1,000. They had been just recently informed that as payment for that, once the graduation services were complete, they would be given command of the new experimental Corvette class ship called the Stingray. They were in fact in training for this very mission when their world ended. The space station they were on was attacked from inside and outside. They just barely escaped. In fact, they were the only warship to escape. All the others were destroyed in explosions, but the special hangar that the Stingray was in protected it. As you left, you saw, as far as you know, the only survivors going to nearby planets, while another group went to the attacking destroyer that had done all the outside attacks. The group of you found yourselves on your ship, but unfortunately, the ship is not finished. It is not ready to go. It has a number of problems, but it is at least functional. You've kind of started it. You have not yet done an official real startup of this ship. So it's running on emergency backup, basically. On top of that, even in prime condition, your ship is no match for this destroyer. But all you can think to do is follow it, so at least it doesn't disappear into the void. You find yourself spread out all throughout the ship. 2 of you on the bridge, 1 of you in the science space making that face. He's been holding on to that face for a week. The engineer staring down at a screen of flashing red panels. Well, some of them are orange, but most of them are red. The gunner, knowing that his twinned guns are not tied together at the moment, knowing that even at his best, he's no match for this destroyer. And the medical officer, having discovered that he is now the sole source of healing. The ship is unstocked in the medical bay, but at least the medical bay is there and the computer is up and running. So that means that you could technically have these medicines and whatnot made by the fabricator on the ship, but you would have to take some time to program that into the replicator. Those files aren't currently there. Each of you has a list of things that are wrong with your station. Some are not very serious and some are. But as Miranda, as you play tag with this destroyer, because you have to stay close enough to keep it in sensor range, but if you get too close, it starts to turn in and come at you, and you have to kind of play cat and mouse with it. So at least you're slowing it down. The 2 of you on the bridge. Actually, no, pardon me, because Miranda stormed off the bridge at the end of the last episode, right? So let's start there. You stormed off the bridge and announced the captain's decision to follow the destroyer, which was greeted with...
What?
or something to that extent from the science room. And with no further ado, that wasted 15 minutes. Let's go. Right there. The 2 of you, as you walk past and say that, he screeches in your ear. We're going where? Go.
Yeah, we're going after that thing. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, I haven't updated my will in a while.
You think there's going to be a will when it's done with us?
Yeah, you guys can all basically hear each other. This is a small ship, right? This ship's only 50 feet from the inside.
Personal log, we're all gonna die.
I mean,
Mine's backed up to the cloud. I don't know about you guys.
I only mess with wills in the Steel family. What?
I don't care about anything else but getting these guns all up to speed, getting it all done properly.
I'm in the middle of work. I mean, what the hell are you guys thinking?
What?
Well, we don't even have autopilot available, which means I'm gonna have to fly if we're actually gonna chase it.
Actually, science officer, there's the problem if we want to get out of here. We don't have drift. So we'd be stuck in the system no matter what we do.
Well, it's a good thing it's not going outside the system.
Is there a way to draft behind it? If it does jump?
If it drifts at this moment, you...
Oh no, is there a better way
actually,
to
I'll
kill
let the
yourself?
engineer answer that. I gave the information. I'll let the engineer answer that. I'll shut up now.
Pilot, maybe. But you would have to be very certain it didn't see you. And even if we tried to, it would be stupid is putting it gently.
I'm not
That's-
a fan of going towards it, but if we're going to do it, is there a way we could shut all our systems down so we could just drift in or something? Is there
Ooh, cloaking.
something like that?
Technically speaking, yes, absolutely. If you shut down the shield, shut down all the weapon systems, and just use your thrusters, it can be extremely difficult to see. Yes.
So is
The
that
same
like
thing
a,
would
Unless they
apply
have
to
a
them.
window.
Well, the distances involved, no. These squares are way out of scale. You guys are thousands of kilometers apart in tiny little ships. But the reason that you can easily track this ship is because it is not being shy. It is full shields up, weapons all at the ready, and it just on your science screens, it just glows. If you guys shut down all of your unnecessaries, it's like a sub going dark. You will be very hard to find.
Yeah, it also looked like they were kind of incompetent with using the ship. So it might mean that
They
they're
did.
not going to be watching very closely if we try something like that.
So, do you think we should do that? Because stealth is fun. I'm just going to say that right now.
The problem with doing that is if they decide to turn and fire on us, that's it. We're done.
If
There's-
they-
Clearly, we're not running away.
We won't be able to boot up fast enough to attack, to do anything, to run away, anything.
Technically, it only takes a couple seconds to do that, to fire those things up.
I mean,
Sorry, I don't mean to,
We
to
could-
smash your
No, no.
narrative, but yeah.
we could set it up so we can easily dodge the firing lasers and everything. Just avoid basically an aileron roll with everything, and then we just put everything. It's a process. We can do it, but why?
Why not?
There are several reasons why not. Would you like me to
No, I
list
heard them
all of
early.
them, or would you like me to just say we would be killed?
I'm actually agreeing with Simon.
Yeah, that never happens.
Okay, so let me
Wait, if we don't
think.
have autopilot, are we just sitting here?
Technically, yes, because I'm not flying.
I mean,
Well, no,
we'd
you
like
guys
to,
are-
I mean, considering we're not sitting
Drifting.
here. I mean, an object in motion stays in motion. You know all that jazz.
Yeah,
but
you
know,
only have to
it
change
doesn't
direction
really
if it
matter.
does, but yeah.
Would it make you guys feel better if we fixed the ship as we follow it? Like not their ship, our ship.
I mean, I was going to do that regardless.
No,
Okay, good.
it needs to be fixed. But I mean, then we leave
Oh, I'm pretty
to
sure.
survive
it's that.
another day.
There's next to no medical supplies, so don't get hurt.
Okay, but hear me out.
Just saying.
Aside from, yes, we're technically following it, but there's literally, like, if we don't announce ourselves as, oh, we're hunting the big ship. I mean, why can't we also just happen to be going to where they're going? I
don't know. Does a
Stellar
shark
Harbor.
really respect a minnow enough to not attack it while it's swimming by?
Yes, because, well, it's not respect, it's indifference. A minnow is not worth a shark's time.
Yeah, but a hungry shark, and that looks like a pretty
Yes.
hungry
A
shark.
shark is not going to waste energy chasing a minnow.
The ship's computer chimes in. It appears that we have a number of choices available to us. We could continue to track this vessel, which no one else is doing, or we could return to attempt to assist those who have yet to flee the base. We could also return
Both
to one of
options
the
sound
nearby
okay.
planets. We could return to one of the nearby planets and attempt to regroup with others, hoping that some other survivors would be able to assist us.
That one.
Yeah.
Computer, can you get do
Yes.
you have any idea or can you project where the giant vessel might be heading?
There's a momentary pause, and you see, because you guys are, I'm assuming, fairly close to the bridge. You can look into the bridge, and remember, from inside the bridge, it's like there's no ship there, and you can see sort of stuff happening in that space. And the answer,
That's like a holodeck.
essentially, yeah, the entire bridge is a holodeck that shows you a full 360-degree view of space without the ship in the way. And sorry, what was the question again, Frederick?
Could you project where the large ship would be heading?
Yes, yes. After a few moments of thinking, you hear, there are only 2 inhabited planets in the direction the ship is heading. A ship of that size, if it maintains its considerable lit-up appearance, would be easily tracked to one or the other if we were to follow at some future time.
See, it's not going to be hard.
It will be the work if remaining at sub-drift speeds, which it appears they wish to do. The travel time would be 1.5 to 2 days to the nearer of the two locations, and 3 days to the further.
Computer,
Yes.
are there, shall I say, resources available at these various locations so that we might fix the ship?
Most of my cells can be fixed from simple programming. A few items would be required, and a considerable amount of labor to fix some of the larger issues.
Okay.
Hey
Question for the crew.
guys, put an eyeball on the dock. Is our mooring still intact?
Your
Our what?
mooring?
Our meringues?
Our
Why are you
mooring.
thinking about food at this time?
You know where the ship was hooked up to that we just recently unhooked it? The
Oh, our
mooring.
mooring.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Is it
Oh,
still
wait.
there?
Yeah, we are an experimental craft, aren't we?
You are.
Oh.
You to the ship that you to the base. You mean? No, those were blown off because you guys left, right? You blew the doors off the base and then flew out into space. Is that what you meant?
Yeah. Could we hook back up? Is there still any kind of facility left?
Your science officer could easily do a scan to discover that facility is now tumbling. It's lost all. It's showing as a zero energy system. It's purely being controlled by gravity now.
All
The
right,
ships
never
that
mind.
you saw fleeing it earlier have gone to a couple of other planets.
So would you guys feel better if we were to say go to one of the other planets that we saw the other ships headed to and do some work there?
I mean, can we outpace the ship if we weren't chasing it?
From what you've seen so far, you and this destroyer have the same essential top speed,
Okay.
which means your pilot should probably be in their seat fairly quickly because it's one of those like you're at the limit of, and then every time they turn, you have to back off. But because they're lit up, you can stay out in the darkness. I'm assuming you guys did the running quiet and running deep.
Oh, yeah,
So-
no, I clicked that off like ages ago.
Yeah, long ago. I assumed
we
you
were in
had, so
power
yeah.
conservation.
Yep. And you know from your training that you are going to be all but invisible to them. It doesn't appear that they're making any attempt to, like, they're not zigzagging, they're not doing anything odd. They're going somewhere. So you guys have choices left over. You go back to the nearly destroyed space station, go down to the planets, or follow the destroyer. Or the big
Wins.
three.
If we go down to the planets, we can fix our drift drive and actually get to the planet before it gets there. Theoretically,
There's not even a connection. We don't have any idea of the status. We might need an entire drift drive for all we know.
Yeah, he shows you the display, and where it says the box that says drift drive is empty.
The
have
most likely
no
place for there to
information.
be one is where we were. Whether or not there's anything salvageable.
Yep, that is absolutely possible.
And we can actually load the ship up with some weaponry and all that junk.
Oh,
And-
you guys are such buzzkills. Okay, fine. We'll go to a planet.
I'm going to be honest, I'm on board with following it, especially at a distance.
I still
Now
want to
we're
help the
talking.
survivors.
Okay, so the ship's computer says the appropriate amount of time has passed. It is time for the crew to vote.
Forced democracy. I love it.
You're all the same. The ship outranks you all, but it's not allowed to make decisions that are not involved directly self-determining its survival. So it has decided that it is time to put this to the vote. So, those in favor of returning to the station, say aye.
Aye, for the
Aye.
survivors.
For this is for the station, so
Aye.
that's 2 for the station so far.
Aye.
3 for the station.
3 for the station. Those who would prefer to go to a nearby planet.
Aye.
And for the sake of completeness, those who would prefer to follow the destroyer.
I
Nay.
What are you, a horse now?
Would you like to
The
find
two-
out?
The two
You stand
Starkey
behind
ones,
me.
this is
We'll
gonna-
see what happens.
I'm
you could-
so gonna lock these two characters in a closet at some point. This 7 minutes of hell. So the computer pauses briefly to let the decision sink in. It appears that the plan is to return to the space station and look for equipment and or survivors.
How are we going to land on it if it's spinning out of control?
You are all fully trained in spacewalking, and the helmets are by the door as per usual.
Well, that'd be what a pilot's for, I do believe.
I won't give
So-
up the chance to go and walk out in space. What a unique experience.
Well, they can get you close, but the station is now tumbling, so it would be unsafe to try and, not to mention extremely difficult. So the standard procedure would be to stop off a short distance away and hop across in the suits.
Whee!
You guys can try other things, but that would be standard procedure. So
I go over to, I assume there's like a wall or a closet full of spacesuits, and I go grab the
no,
one.
just helmets. Actually, your
Oh,
uniforms
right.
seal up. When you put the helmet on and it hits the collar seal, that seals and the gloves pop out and the boots and everything seals into an environment, and it is self-contained for hours and hours and hours.
Okay. I go grab my my helmet, the one that's in my colors.
Yep. Oh yes, it would be. Yep.
Um,
These colors, I mean, they're for identification purposes, right? You guys are about to see that. You were about to go out into space. Infinite blackness, where you're 40 feet away from somebody. The only way you can tell that they're there is if they're not lit up, is from the light reflecting off their suit. So the colors, being able to see a flash of purple on a helmet, yes, to know who that is, that's important. It's not just style.
although style
So-
plays a critical role.
So the who's spacewalking, who's staying behind? You can plant this ship. I mean, with autopilot, you can put it in a place, and as your science officer said, physics is physics. Once it's there, it's going to stay. But
We don't have autopilot.
no, it don't need it because physics is physics. When you put an object in motion, tends to stay in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So if you park yourself like 500 meters off the port side of the space station, even though it's tumbling, that ship will just stay there unless something pushes it. The only reason you
Carpenter.
might want to stay is if somebody or something comes back and tries to shoot the ship.
If this turns into Alien Isolation, I'm gonna be mad.
Carpenter. My suggestion is that you should go out so you can take a better look at the engines, and I'll stay in and I'll do the coding.
Who are you
All
talking
right.
to?
Frederick Carpenter.
That's you.
Oh, it's me. Well, at least me and I can get a better look at the outside.
Yeah, and besides, you have a better engineering sense than I do.
So
I'm
that
assuming.
I want to look at your
Okay.
code one of these days.
So
Well,
we've got
we'll exchange notes.
the doc is on the away party, right? And then
Captain is also.
Saga as well, and Moose.
I'm gonna stay and work on the weapons, get
Okay.
them up to speed. If needed, I will get over there.
Okay, so yeah, you've like got your helmet sitting on the counter beside you, but you're programming
Yeah.
and fixing your setup. Gotcha. Which leaves the Simon. You're staying on board as well, right? To do the science to fix stuff.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's everybody, I think. Oh no,
Miranda's
everybody
staying.
except the pilot. You're staying. Okay.
Because if
It
something
makes sense, yeah. If the destroyer
something
comes
happened.
back, or if there is still somebody on the other side of this, so yeah, it makes sense. So, the three of you who are leaving, oh no, I guess it's just two. It's just the Doc and Saga that are leaving. So the two of you.
Wasn't
Yeah, I
was
thought
The
Frederick
Frederick
was.
he
Gonna
is
win.
leaving, but he's not going with them. He's going around the back to get access to the engines of the ship to find out what's going on with the drift drive.
Yeah.
So, um, let's do them. Let's do them in this order. The away party. The two of you slap your helmets on. Everything pops up. Doc, you quickly check the chest panels on both of you. You check each other, and everything systems are up and running. Even though in the bridge it's kind of the 360-degree view, you guys are now over in an outdoor airlock, and you step through the first door, and the door closes behind you, and you feel your suit sort of stiffen up as the air is pumped out of this airlock. Then that outside airlock door opens, and there's just the tiniest little, as the last little bits of air float out. You see them crystallize, and you can see forever. I mean, it's not like being on the bridge. It's different because you know it's real. You try and focus and push across this open space. So both of you give me an acrobatics check, please, unless you can argue me into something else. Athletics or acrobatics, either or. 10 and a 16. All right. +2 to maneuver and 0 grav. So that's included in that 10?
No, it's not.
It is not. Okay, so that's a 12. Okay. So yeah, the two of you time the swing because it's sort of coming towards you, and you wait till it's close and then close that gap and sort of let it catch you. Doc, you're considering all the gear, like all the webbing. I'm assuming you've got like a bunch of empty webbing and stuff to store stuff in. On the trip over, but anyway, you are, it's not graceful, but it is mechanically precise. Just zip over there, the thing comes down, you just turn around and land on it, you absorb the impact beautifully well. Saga, even better, there's a bit of flash, like when you land, it's almost a 3-point landing, and it's clear to the doctor that you have done this far more than the training at the academy would appear to show.
That's weird.
You look, yeah, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just commenting.
So the two of you, I mean, you know your way around this place. So you were looking for medical supplies, survivors, that sort of thing?
That's what I'm looking for.
Give me a perception check. Both of you. Let's have you both do it. Saga, he's looking for stuff. What are you looking for? Where are you looking?
I'm looking for everything, but in particular, I'm looking for any kind of parts or systems that may assist in like reconnecting to another base or some other people.
Okay.
You said perception.
Yeah, I got you.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Give me a perception check. Okay. Doctor, you've been here years. You know exactly where the med bays are, and there would be one right in the hangar. You go right to that one, rip open the doors. As soon as you step in, you realize it's 0G in here too. The artificial gravity has failed, and you kind of float over to the cabinets and pull them open. And as you'd hoped, there's the prepackaged med bay. It's like the equivalent of the food cart on a aircraft. It's just like, here, your ship is leaving. Here's your unit, and there's 3 of them side by side. So you pull it out, and there's a slot for it on the Stingray, and it will be a fully, essentially fully. Anything you can imagine needing is in this case.
Can I take 2?
Yes, you can. Give me an athletics check to drag them both back, because your captain's not here with you. Your captain's off in engineering. Okay, you with the +2, you very quickly realize you need one hand free, so you can do it. There's no time constraint on this. You can't do 2 at once, so you're gonna have to go back and do 2 trips.
It makes sense.
So,
Howard's pretty skinny, so
Yeah. So while you're doing that and kind of grinning to yourself, I'm assuming, because yeah, now have enough for like 2 cruiser class ships in these 2 containers. You got this covered. Nobody's dying on your watch. Meanwhile, just down the road in engineering, you are looking for motor bits and pieces, and you rolled well, not necessarily stuff. You said stuff that would be helpful to you, right?
Stuff for like transmission and
For transmission specifically. I'm glad you
and
said that word.
signaling.
Because
Transmission and
you're
signaling.
digging through engineering going, there's got to be something, there's got to be something, there's got to be something, and you look over on a counter and there's this obviously not finished product. It looks like a prototype. It's kind of because this is what really happens. It's built on a frame of Lego.
Oh, good.
Programmers love Lego because you can make it put anything anywhere you want it to. So it's
Yep.
built on a base of Lego, and it is clearly a communication device of some kind. And beside it, there is a handwritten couple of pages of notes.
I'm going to grab the device and the notes.
Yeah, and you look at the notes on as you throw them on top and pick up the whole thing and head back. And what they say is device works is basically what it boils down to. And
Okay.
as you're sort of running back towards the ship, looking down, you kind of catch a couple more sentences, and it appears what you've got is a very, very long range radio, essentially, that can only communicate with the Astronomos Dynami, your group. So essentially now you can talk to head office
Okay.
because
Sweet.
you rolled a 25. So now you can get advice on what you should do from anybody else as well. So
Sweet.
that's the doctor. Happily successful. The captain happily successful on both of your missions. While we're outside, Frederick Carpenter, you go at a different airlock. There's one on each side, and they're busy on the other side. So you go out this side with your toolkit. Are you taking your exocortex with you?
I am taking the drone with me.
Okay. And it's a fly drone, right? It actually flies?
No, it walks
Hovers?
around.
Okay, so
But it
it's
has
gonna
magnetic legs that it kind of just walks up and down walls, ceilings, whatever. It kind of walks around.
I love it. So yes, you step in and the doors shut behind you. The air is pumped out. The other doors open in front of you. Again, like it's too big. And on your side right now, you can see they're looking at the space station that blocked most of their view. You're not. You're looking out. You can see the sun and a couple of other planets, and just there's a galaxy in the distance. You kind of shake your head and work your way around the back of the ship, which is not difficult to do because your drone sort of along the side, and that's where the tether is attached. So it just stays with you as you go along. You get around the back. Make an engineering check for me to see if you can find a way in. Make us wait. 24. Oh yeah. You find there's actually there's a hatch back here. It looks like it was last used during the building of this thing, and it's been dogged shut. And then there's just one little spot weld to hold it in place. Should be easy enough to break.
Okay. Did I see anything about the anything mechanically wrong with anything like the guns on my way over, or everything was good?
No, what you saw on the way here, everything looks good. The engines themselves, you can see the thrusters, they work. You knew that because you've been using them. There is, you know what to look for. There are slight uses of wear on the drift. It's the equivalent of an exhaust nozzle. They don't make exhaust like, but they put off a radiation. And that area that radiates, you can tell if it's been used or not. And this has been fired up once or twice.
Interesting. So for a ship that wasn't flown, it drifted. Okay, let's put that away for later.
Yep.
See if we can. For breaking the weld, I just kind of want to heat up the metal.
Yeah. You just
Big metal
with your
block.
tools and equipment, yeah, you just bust the knot, the dot, and open the undog the door. You pull it open to look in to see a typical engineering space. There's no floor, there's no ceiling, and there's no up or down. This was designed by a zero-G engineer who understood his stuff. You were gonna have to porpoise to get in here.
Glad I'm not on. I'm not glad I'm not in any dry dock for this.
And again, no test needed. You wiggle your way in and wiggle your way in. You see, after a couple of minutes of this, I mean, you are deep in the belly. This is like spelunking. You are like in the middle of a mountain because it's dark in here except for your lights because there's nobody's supposed to be in here. If this engine is running, this is a deadly place to be. So it's not running. Your stuff would have told you. But you see, as you wiggle along, a very obvious thing. There's a large power cable just sitting on the floor next to a big lockable plug. It simply wasn't plugged in.
At least you made the space right. I'll plug it in.
Yep. And you see the lights around the plug-in, and you realize it's now that the lock it locks in place, and you now wiggle your way back out. Your drone is peering at you through the hole, waiting for you to come out. And you can make your way back to the ship. Yeah. Yep. Inside, you guys see another part of the system lights up, and those of you in the know would realize that your drift system is now back online. Or at least is online. Let's cut to our gunner, sitting at your station. Give me this might seem a little strange. I want an intelligence check out of you.
Can I bargain you to let me use a Russian multi-tool and use strength instead?
No, it's not one of those kind of things. That's fine. 15 is fine. You start the fairly easy progress of twinning these two weapons. It's a thing that you've trained for. The one weapon has a range of 10 hexes, the other one has a range of 5, but they're always twinned. So as soon as it gets within 5, you can fire them both, and that only counts as one weapon. You do this all the time. You start getting in there to re-input that code, and you don't know what it does, but there's 2 extraneous lines of code in this software. They're not affecting anything that you're doing. You do. It's probably nothing.
Can I just sort of stare at it for a minute?
Yeah.
I'm not even trained in.
Nope.
Not even trained in it. I don't know.
No. Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
Hey, Techie. You want to have a look at this?
I really shouldn't respond to that name, but yeah, sure.
Give me a computer check from Simon. That is a very good number. That is an exceptional number. That is a 29. Okay.
That's also a thing that Moose does. He kind of refers to people by their jobs because he's really bad at remembering names.
I think sciencey would work a bit better than techie.
Sciencey, yeah. He's sitting there typing in the computer, telling you this and interacting with it, and yeah. Anyway,
can I flavor slightly?
Yes, please do.
Just to get to, as opposed to going down to the gunnery, he just kind of puts on his goggles, which start lining up the code in his vision. Yeah, a little tiny holographic keyboard appears in front of him, and he just starts clicking away.
That only he can see. So you're just watching him do this in the air.
All right, whatever you do.
Oh, I'm not. I haven't even come down because why would I have to come down?
He's not even in your room. So, Moose, what you see is those 2 lines of code just disappear off your screen, and the rest of it just clunk, clunk, clunk into place, just like it should be now. So you're like, yeah, and you run a couple tests, and yes, your weapon systems are refired. They're retied. So
Sweet.
those two are, yeah. Meanwhile,
Never mind, I got it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the science seat, 29. Wow. By themselves, these two lines of code don't tell you anything because they're not like you don't know where they are. You don't even know if they're the same program or they're junk files or whatever. But you develop an heuristic device that goes through the rest of the programming on the ship and starts looking for things that are written in this format, this style.
Yeah. Every
And
coder has a signature.
absolutely. And you realize, first of all, it's going to take a long time. This ship is a computer. It's going to take a ludicrous period of time, hours, maybe days to run this. But within the first 30 seconds, it's found 4 more lines of code. All definitely from the same source.
All right.
Still not enough to figure
I'm
out what
going
it's
to-
doing yet, but it doesn't belong here.
No. Basically, because it doesn't belong there, I'm going to copy paste
Yep.
into its own select file.
Oh yeah.
A
Would you
file
like
that
the
doesn't
quarantine
actually,
file?
when it's
Yeah.
put up, kind of like a Google Doc. If you were to just put code into a
Yep.
document, it doesn't do anything because it doesn't know what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
But it just kind of puts it there so that once it's done, I can read through it and go, okay.
And you can set it up so that every time the computer
Yeah.
finds another line, it's popping it in there. I mean, this is the future. So you can have the ship's computer help you, and it can watch as those files are compiled and try and make sense out of them for you.
Computer, I don't like calling you that. What would you like to be called instead?
Bob.
Computer?
My name has yet to be determined. A
Cool.
suggestion
I'm going
is
to
on
call
the table.
you Franklin. So,
Very
Franklin,
well. Yes.
could you help me out with this running this program? I need to make sure I can find this code.
I'm on it.
Great, another name to
Thank
try
you,
to
Franklin.
remember.
I'm sure you'll just call it computer.
I respond to that as well. So you start compiling that. You're outside. You fixed your guns. The two of you are away. Pilot.
Oh,
You
oh.
are watching for quite a while because, like I said, that other ship is making no effort to hide itself. And while the computer can look at the numbers and sort of tell you it's going somewhere in that direction, there's only 2 planets in that direction. You're watching for a little while, like watching the burns. Again, you can't see the ship, but you're watching the readout. And yeah, man, first of all, they're sloppy. They're really sloppy. They're overcorrecting. They're doing like new drivers where they go too far. It's just an endless series of corrections. Also, give me a piloting check. Okay, that's it. Well, this isn't about you doing something. This is about you
Okay.
seeing something. You're looking and say, yeah, that computer doesn't know what it's talking about. It's definitely going to Lavania.
Okay. And I
Which
would
you
know it.
and yeah, you and everybody else would know once you tell them that that's the name of it. This is the Pleasure Planet. It was suspected it was going to. This is a world of the ultra wealthy.
Okay.
So do we really care if it blows up? I mean, I'm just saying property values aren't going to go down by themselves.
So the the doc and the captain get back with your stuff. You guys arrive at this point. The pilot, you are preparing to do whatever it is that the next step seems to be. Gunner, your gun systems are back online and fully operational. Engineer, the drive system is back online. It is untested, but it is at least online. And Science officer, your mission to figure out what the hell, who's put code in your computer is underway as well. So you all find yourself back on the ship. You found no survivors, by the way. Sorry. I should have mentioned that. It was probably kind of important to the doctor. Yeah, you could tell right away. This place has explosively decompressed top and bottom. There's nobody left. Anybody who was alive got out on those first burst of shuttles.
Okay.
Yeah, as you know, space is very, very unforgiving. There's no surviving it if it goes wrong. So, yes. Yeah.
Can I try to integrate this radio into my sort of bridge station?
I was actually
absolutely
about to
can,
ask
yeah.
if you would like some help with that.
Oh,
Perfect. Well, this gives us a chance to show the new captain interaction that I have figured out. So, what we're going to do is the science officer is going to make a computer check to attempt to do this thing. As the captain, this is a thing that you can also do in combat. This is how it's going to work from now on. You have a choice. You will do either way. You will roll again the same skill as he's rolling. So in this case, computers. If you tell me which one you're aiming for before you do it, either a DC of 10, so any roll over 10 is a success, and you add +2 to his roll. That's just encouraging him. Or you can actively help him, in which case you make a test for 15 plus the tier of the ship, which is 18 total. So if you can roll over an 18 on computer, then he gets +4.
I would just go with the making sure I can get higher than
yeah.
10.
Okay.
Not trying to say. I think a little encouragement would go a lot better than you trying to help out there. I'm just saying.
he's wiping down his computer screen with clean wipes. Say, don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff, because you can't help
just
from a
saying.
distance yet. So-
I'm really good at this.
Just for that, I'm gonna try and help.
Okay,
Damn
give me a computer. You're looking for 18.
Both of us? Or?
No. So you, unfortunately, you try to help, and it is not helpful, unfortunately. He has a different way of doing it than you do, so the background work that you did was no help at all. So now I need an unadjusted test from the science officer, just a straight computer test. Yeah, it's enough. I mean, it's a comms thing. It is a complete prototype. So there's
This
again,
is why
it's like
I say, don't help out.
You know, I'm not as talentless as you think I am.
I don't think you're talentless. I just think you're talentless in this area.
as he plugs the final thing in and the system fires up.
You don't know me.
I don't, and I don't really intend on getting to know all of you a lot more. I know I will, but that's just the way it goes.
Well, some crack team we're gonna make.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell them what I found out by watching the computers, and I'm just going to say, so what do? Do we look for help on the other planets, or do we go there and, I guess, try and help the next invasion?
Hey, pilot. How do you feel about testing out a drift system that we might have just installed?
Oh, that would have been nice to know. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, if we're going to go
install.
to the other planet, we can just...
Haven't
fix it,
tested.
Yep. It's not normally done in system, but yes, with we'll make some checks, and if let's make if 3 of you can succeed in checks out of 4 that I'm going to ask to make them, then yes, you can do this in system drift for sure. Is that
I'm
the
gonna
plan?
let
You guys
everybody
can
know
now-
that my job's done by kicking my feet up onto my console.
You
Back.
guys can now also contact head office, so to speak, because the radio is now intact.
I'd like to do that.
Okay, so you walk over and you kind of actually have to move wires to different places on the, it's it's a wires and thing on the table. This is
I
not a finished
rewire it
product.
to work for me.
Yeah, you get it set up, and you hear some connection noises, and then yes, there shouldn't be anyone on this channel. There's no test
Hi.
scheduled until tomorrow. What?
Oh my gosh. Hi. This is Captain Saga Steel of the starship. God, we're the Stingray.
Stingray.
Our base was obliterated. I think we're the only survivors.
Well, wait. Why are you talking to me? This is the science department.
Well, then put me on to headquarters. or
Wait a
something.
second, science department? Is that
Not
you,
now,
Professor
science-
Monroe?
Did he make it?
There's a silence that answers that. It is apparently not Dr. Monroe. I usually say yes, but no, not this time. Well,
Damn
it doesn't exactly move. Let me go get someone. And you hear feet, like he's left the connection open, and he runs away.
He sounded just like Dr. Monroe, didn't you think?
You know, I didn't spend a lot of time with Dr. Monroe.
And a
I
few
think
seconds later, yeah, go.
I think Dr. Monroe's a little bit older.
And you hear
It's hard to tell that only.
Who's
the voice,
Dr.
though.
Monroe?
you hear footsteps coming back. Even I don't know, and I'm supposed to. So, you hear footsteps coming back, and we actually fell away there for a second, but I'm glad to know you guys kept playing.
Talking about Dr. Monroe.
Yes,
We've established,
now has a parrot.
One time.
we've
Okay.
established lore about Dr. Monroe.
Okay. Well, at least nothing. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you for filling the space. You guys are in the wrong spots right now, but I'm not going to change it. We're partway
I don't think
through.
we are.
No, we're not.
No.
Only
Yeah.
you
Is
popped
everybody
out?
still?
No, I don't think we are. I think we're
Actually,
okay.
I've got
No.
at least two of you are in the wrong spots.
Oh no. Yeah, we are.
Actually, I can
Okay.
fix that. Hang
Oh,
on, give me a
yeah.
second here. So
one or
anyway,
two of us, though.
as you guys discuss the fictional Dr. Monroe, the radio, yes, crackles into life. Who are you? What is your name and rank?
Saga Steel, cadet, captain of the starship Stingray.
Mhm.
The what? The Stingray?
Yes.
That ship's not commissioned yet.
Well,
Yeah.
it bloody well is now. The whole base got destroyed.
But I mean, we've been out of connection with them for a few hours now. But what do you mean destroyed? And you
A
realize you
giant
have.
destroyer attacked the base and, quote unquote, destroyed it.
All right, now there's no need to be obnoxious.
Eh,
Well,
Sir,
what-
we're the last surviving warship from the base.
And we're a group of cadets.
And we're
Well, you're
doing
damn-
fantastic.
that's a lie. We're not.
Yeah.
I've never heard a ship operating quite like the one that you appear to be on right now, but considering it's not commissioned, I guess I shouldn't complain. What is your plan?
Oh, none whatsoever, sir.
We don't have one just yet.
We have been discussing a couple options.
There are
Some of them
some of
turn
us on the
suicidal.
ship. There are some that believe to go after the destroyer, sir.
Okay, just to clarify, we're not going to attack the destroyer. We wanted to follow it and retrieve information.
That would be useful. Are there any survivors on the space station?
No.
Left by shuttle.
There
Oh,
are
I mean, not
some
on the
planets.
space station. The
We will
there are
contact them through
survivors-
more conventional means. There was an escape plan intended for, unfortunately, just this sort of thing.
Oh,
There was?
How long was it made?
also,
They don't tell us shit.
They really don't.
Kevin, what was the name of the dude who attacked our station?
The overall bad guy is the Despot. That's all he's known as.
Okay.
The Despot. Yeah.
Also,
And the ship is called the Vengeful Return.
yes, we caught a glimpse of the ship. It is the Vengeful Return, and we do believe it's being piloted by the Despot.
You hear a spit take at the other end. He was obviously having a drink of something. That
Oh man, all over the mic.
that name? Are you sure?
We hope not.
We don't want it to be, but I happen to know through a particular history that it's very likely him.
Are any of you familiar with the phrase forlorn hope?
Am I?
Yeah.
The ex-military man puts up his hand.
Intimately.
Only through the history books.
That is something that would be best be explained in person, I think. Who is it that laughed when I asked that? I can't see you.
Oh, gee, I didn't even have a. What was the rank? I don't think we even worked out what my
Doesn't matter.
old
Make
rank
one
would
up.
have been. Let's just say it was Sergeant
It's about where we're
Sergeant
going.
Clayton Gray, sir.
What outfit? You don't have to have a name right now, but just you say the outfit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. You do know what that is. Well, it's been nice knowing you.
Oh, that's a vote of confidence.
Go find me a destroyer. Keep an eye on it till I can get something big enough to blow it out of the air.
Is this an order, sir?
We discovered long ago orders don't work from light years away.
We're on it, sir.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. God damn it.
What was that?
And boom, the system.
Wait, remember we had to go back to following it?
The system
basically now
overheats
we
and
can
starts to
just
shut
follow
down.
it.
We have orders to follow it.
Is it still following it?
You
if
got
we
you
go
got to
where
do
it's
other
going?
stuff too. You just have
I
to
mean,
track it. That's what you've been
you can-
asked to do. You don't have to do anything. That's what you've been asked to do. There's a whole universe out there. You can go anywhere.
Is that a blue?
This is a real road in a
box?
sandbox. It is your choice whether to stay on the train.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Well, they said they're bringing something bigger, so let's just watch it until they do.
Yeah. I am absolutely delighted because I get to go through with what I wanted to do.
Well, on the way there, it's going to take a couple of yes, yeah. Or did you want to try the drift jump and get there early? But pilot first, yes.
So I'm going to look at Frederick and ask, if we use the drift, can we get there before them and warn them about the impending attack?
We can get there. We can try to tell them. And if they listen, they may help themselves.
Yes, pilot. Sorry, captain.
What if they're not planning on attacking? What if this is their home place?
Well, if it's their home planet, then let's destroy the planet. I mean, rich people. Am I right, guys?
I'm just okay. Good.
I mean, at least open up
Not right now.
anyway, so it's probably not the worst thing.
I'm just saying we don't know exactly why they're going to that planet. Personally, like, yeah, he's probably going to attack the planet, but we should double check.
Yeah.
So you want me to open a radio frequency between us and them?
No,
No.
Not yet.
Thank God.
we want to see. We
What?
need to see what's on that planet, and if anything is of interest to the despot in a way that would be more than monetary gain.
All right.
Like, for
So-
instance, a CD cabal that he may be formulating.
Oh, I mean, there was one on your space station. Anything is possible. Pilot. The decision comes to you. You have the option of trying this very difficult in-system drift jump, Or you
I'm sorry,
can
Miranda's way too excited. We're
or
gonna
you
use the
can
drift
just
system.
crank it up and okay, no question. So give me a piloting check while you try to do that. 16, that'll work. You wait a minute, what was the bonus on that? Yeah, you rolled an 8 plus 8. Okay. Yeah, you engage the drift engines. You do the math. You engage the engines. When you pop out, you immediately know you're not where you wanted to be. You wanted to be as close to orbit as you could be, because if you get too close, the gravity screws up the transmission. But you wanted to be close. You unfortunately didn't quite get as close as you'd like. You did, however, place yourself at this point between the destroyer and the planet it's heading towards.
Might I suggest that we're not there?
Might I suggest we
You better start
book
moving.
it?
I should move.
Which way? Towards the planet? You're closer to the planet than they are. So towards the planet, or
Yeah,
just out
towards
of
the
way?
planet.
I'd like to suggest that we get ourselves on the other side of the planet.
If you can get there and get into orbit early enough, you can absolutely use the planet to block.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you start
long is
doing
this gonna
that
take
as
us to
the
get
as
there?
the. Sorry.
How long is it going to take us to get there?
It's in this. It's a couple seconds in drift drive.
Oh no,
From our position to the planet.
Oh, to the planet. Sorry. Couple hours.
cool. I'm going to get to work on some stuff.
Yes, I was going to say between the prep for the drift itself, and then the post drift, anything that was on that repair list that was marked as simple, you guys have fixed. That stuff was easy. The rest of it, you're going to have to set aside some time to do. So you start making your way towards the planet. Yes.
No, no. I was just
'Kay.
considering one of the simple tasks has already been fixed.
Yeah.
Could we start working on the moderate task as well?
You could do that, or you could check in on your code as well, your code collector. By the time you
I'd
get
rather get autopilot to be functional.
I was going to work on
Okay.
autopilot too.
Oh,
Okay, so
That's
the
not
two
what
of
I'm
you then, well, yeah, sure. I mean, yes, let's get that. It's not a big deal. That one's just a matter of writing the code that connects the two pieces, right? So you guys can do that. So check that one off too. We'll just have the big ones left. And with that, the pilot, you start making your way towards the planet. As you get closer, you receive a message from the planet's surface. It's clearly a computer voice, and it says, "You have not been approved for closer approach to Livania. State your business."
Hello, this is the pilot of the Stingray. We've come to warn you guys. What was the name of the ship again?
The vengeful return. Yeah.
The Vengeful Return with the Despot is coming this way.
Give me a is it persuasion?
What was Holmes' name?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. That's the one I'm looking for.
Diplomacy?
Sorry, wrong system. Yeah. Give me a diplomacy.
Okay.
Roll. Okay. There's a pause, and then another voice that stops, and a human voice comes in, older male voice. "We've detected a much larger vehicle coming behind you. Are you telling us it has ill intent?"
Yes, sir, it does.
"We may have a plan. Your ship appears far too small on our sensors to be doing anything efficiently against that other vessel. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Do any of you have officer training?"
I do,
You
sir.
look around, you all do. I mean, you're 3 weeks
mean-
away from becoming lieutenants, right? So
yeah.
Technically, yes.
do you say technically yes, or do you just say yes?
No. We definitely do, sir. We definitely do. Thank you very much for asking this question. How are you today?
We'll meet you on the back. Stay in the visual shadow of the planet. We'll meet you there. It will take us a couple hours to get airborne.
Yes, sir.
You're looking for the Golden Admiral. You can't miss her.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
And you start making your way around the planet.
I'll be in my bunk. Get up. And
I know, man. It's coming. It's coming. You guys make your way around the planet, and as you do, you see rising from that surface a huge vessel. It's a cruiser class vessel. This thing is a monster. It dwarfs the destroyer that you've been dogging. I guess I can't use that word anymore. It used to mean following closely. But
I was thinking that in my head.
so you also realize that it's received some work. It is not a new vessel. There are parts of it that are apparently, for no reason you can tell, covered in gold finish. Like it reflects light in a very anti-stealth sort of way as it rises up from the planet. There are protrusions and bumps on it that don't need to be there. It almost looks like something out of a movie or off of a set. But as you scan it, you realize it's coming to life as you watch it. It is a fully functioning battle cruiser. It's got a crew
Why?
of probably 200 to 250.
I'm assuming that this is the Platinum Admiral, or the lesser-known Bronze Admiral. Am I right, guys?
Captain? Yeah.
Do I recognize this ship?
You know what? I'll give it to you. What the heck? You do. This ship is this is like the Spanish Armada. This is like the ultimate treasure ship. This is a warship, a fully functioning warship that is worth as much in its accoutrements and its features as it is as a battle wagon.
So, would it be not unreasonable to perhaps flavor that my family has many times tried to take this ship?
From where you are, how about extended family? Like
Extended family, okay.
Yeah, nobody you directly know, but it's part of the sort of family rumors that a generation ago there was an attempt and it
It's
failed.
part of that lore that
Yeah,
goes around.
exactly. So yes, yeah, that is fair. The Golden Admiral.
Crazy
continues to
Uncle
rise to
Andy.
Man, that crazy uncles.
And as the two ships arrive in orbit and make those final adjustments and nuzzle up together, you guys step across into the Golden Admiral. And on the inside, it makes the outside look plain. There is lush tapestries on the walls. The carpets are soft. The gravity's been turned to like 0.9, so you're very light on your feet. There are, as you walk down the first hallway, you see hot tubs and jacuzzis and steam rooms and video centers, and it's like a luxury hotel. And you kind of follow the little floating light up to the bridge just to speed things along a little bit. And you are met by, as you go, you see staff all over the place wearing very outrageous and ostentatious uniforms. But they appear, especially to the military amongst you, to be very efficient at what they're doing. They know how to follow instructions. They know how to be good followers. You guys step onto the bridge to see the man who must be the admiral. He is basically in gold lame from here down. It's all gold, gold on gold medals. And you kind of like, you fighting back the urge to laugh until he turns around. There's a big scar across his face. And you can tell from his face, he's a real fighting man. He was a real admiral. It's just somehow he's become filthy rich and built this toy. He says, well then, nice to meet you. Shall we kill a destroyer?
No, we were hoping to help it out, in fact. No, yes, we're going to kill the destroyer.
I'm going to send you into
Shut up.
space. I'm going to send you into space without a suit as soon as this is done.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Why doesn't that bother him? Anyway,
Because-
to your positions, and you look around, and this is a big bridge of a big ship. There are the locations you guys are used to doing. What you're being asked to do right now is to run a group of people. So as science officer, you're running the entire science department during this combat. The engineer, you are running the engineers department. The doctor, you are in charge of casualty response and all of that sort of thing on this ship as damage happens. Pilot, you are piloting this ship, but it's not just you. There's other people involved. Captain, you and the actual captain of this ship, who is not the admiral, he sits way up at the back, but there's two of you running around helping people. Two of you in seats helping people. The systems all work on the Golden Admiral. And Gunner, you step to your position and sit down, and in front of you there's 8 pods. And in each one there's a gunner sort of crouched forward over a set of, and you can see them all, they're coming up like green, 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 yellow, 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 green, green, and they're all coming up online.
Ooh, Sergeant's voice comes out.
Absolutely. Tell them what you're telling them.
I want to, let's see, I want a full list of our capabilities. What weapons check? Sound off.
Yeah, one after another, they're telling you that the heavy lasers are in place, the medium laser arrays are in place, the missiles, the torpedoes, all systems intact, all turrets functional. Waiting your command once we engage. And as such, let's roll into this. Engineering, you're first. You have at your command. You're not going to have to roll anything specific here. I want a generic engineering roll while I tell you what your job is. You have a wall of engineers in front of you, and you get to tell them you're moving, you're diverting shields, you're diverting power, you're doing this, you're doing that. So I just need to make this fairly simple. I need a straight engineering roll from you, and you're basically going to do an engineering roll against the opposing engineer. So on that first round, you some of the things happen, but what you notice is that the one of the opposing engineer teams has actually jammed you tried to move shields. One of your guys tried to move shields, and that action has been jammed. So it wasn't particularly effective, but at least you got something done. Piloting, you're doing a same thing, straight piloting check against the enemy pilot. Wow, I'm rolling well. Okay. So you get in this sort of duel. It's a much bigger, clumsier machine than you are, but there's no safe place to be where a turret can't get at you. So as you try and duck and dive, it doesn't particularly work. Science officer, you're trying to scan the enemy's target systems. Give me a computer check, please.
All right. I'm going to point at
This one's
people.
not opposed because this is opposed by the enemy ship. So
yeah, I'm going to point at people and go, you. We need to get sensors online, start targeting people, and do everything that we need to do here, and here. And then I'm going to point at one of them and you, coffee, almond, I want it. No, coffee, hazelnut, extra cream. Thank you.
They have, I mean, you got the right idea on this ship. Yeah, there is a maitre d', and he is a rank of captain. And he turns to one of his underlings, and one of the staff runs off to get you, and it will be an exceptional coffee when it arrives.
Little bit of honey, not too much. I don't like it too sweet. You got this.
Give me a science roll. Give me a computer roll.
I did. 25.
You did a 25. Okay. Which system on the enemy ship would you like to target? This is the part that really worked well.
Let's target their engines. I'd like them dead in space.
Okay. Okay, absolutely. So, which takes us to the gunner. We'll get to the doctor as soon as somebody gets hurt. Gunner, fire away. Give me just a straight gunnery roll. This is not it's not you shooting. It's you commanding the people around you to shoot. So just give me a straight gunnery. Click the gunnery macro. You do have help from the computer, and you do have help from an officer.
There we go.
29. that is significant. So with that, you can roll me. You rolled a 19 as a natural, which means because of the science officer targeting that system, this is a crit, and it's hit the engines. So you've you're watching as all the systems are firing. A lot of them are bouncing off the system. Some of them other ones are doing damage in various places, but the big poof moment is when you blast off a section of the rear of the ship with one of the large torpedoes as it goes off. And the ship starts to slew slightly and start to tilt and head towards the planet like it's
And-
losing thrust.
And then I say, get me the shields next.
Very well. Back to engineering. Give me a roll.
Well, at least they're better at engineering than they are.
Oh,
at
wait a minute. Pardon me.
flying.
I forgot to shoot. I forgot to shoot from them. Sorry. Otherwise, the doc's not going to have anything to do.
I'm okay with having nothing to do for casualties.
Let's see. I think that actually. What is the. Oh, that's not right. But anyway, it's 16, so that actually hits. It does. Oops. 6 damage. 13 points of damage. So that's next to nothing. It slams into the shields. There's a couple of reports of people being knocked down as the stability systems in the ship didn't compensate for all of the impact. So there's at least an area that you can head towards. That's engineering. Helm, give us another piloting check. See if you can get the drop on this guy.
Do you want engineering
sorry.
still?
Engineering, yes. Sorry, I jumped you.
Well, at least it
I
seems
have
like
a little
we're
thing here that I'm using to mark the
flying.
turns, and I put it in the wrong spot. So engineer the hell out of this. Give me a roll.
Okay, let's see if we can't take something down.
27. What is your intent to do with that?
Am I?
Because you're moving
Right.
shields, like adjusting for that small shield hit and that sort of thing. But any of the other things that you have.
Compensate for shield, and if possible, make their lives a little bit more difficult if they're going to try to get any information on us.
Okay, so try an ECM jam. Absolutely. Let me see if they are going to be able to do anything about that. Not even close. So they couldn't have actually touched you. So yeah, your ship is now more difficult to hit than it was. So those are your two actions. Now we go to helm piloting.
Yep. So
This is
make
the
another
part-
roll.
Yep, this is the part where all the people watching that actually know how to play Starfinder going, this isn't how you do this. Oh dear, that was bad. Okay, this time you get the drop on them. So this means that there's going to be an additional +2 to the firing when it comes around to the gunnery again. Science officer, give me a roll and tell me what you want to do.
All right, I'm going to target their shield systems as well as
Mhm.
get one of the guys to potentially start looking into scanning the ship down.
Okay.
So
Give me
just
that roll. We'll
computers
see
roll?
how much of that you get away with. Yeah. Yeah, you accomplish both of those things. So you're, what are you targeting this time?
Their shields, anything
The
that
shields,
is
that's what you said,
generating the
right.
shields,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the shield generators. Okay, wonderful.
as I was asked.
Yep, absolutely. Gunnery. Because of that, that's +2, so +4 to whatever you roll. Nat, that's another crit. Okay. This works. The shield generators just poof, and that's the first shot of several, and then the rest of the barrage just starts ripping big metal chunks out of this destroyer as pieces fly off into space. You see rising towards it, pulling away from it, two smaller class ships. They're like shuttles, but somewhere between there and an interceptor, something small and fast. Start to drop away from the ship and leave. You have utterly shut down the shield systems as well. They fire back. Yeah, that definitely hits. This is one of the big turrets on the top that you didn't think was working before, and suddenly it bursts into life, turns, and fires a barrage of medium lasers at you. You feel it hit the ship, and Doc, you know this means casualties. This was a major strike. This is down deep in the bowels of the ship in engineering. This is in the drive systems. and you head in that direction. You
Yep.
very quickly start finding people injured. Go ahead and give me, again, just like you got a team with you, right? So again, give me just an overall medicine check, and this is sort of your triage ability, right?
Where, also,
22, yeah.
that's a quick question. When is the captain going to do stuff as well?
Can you guys stop being good?
Thank you for reminding me. Actually, you can jump in at any moment to help any of these people, the way that you did before. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So once every round, you can jump in and do whatever you do your captain-y thing and help people.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you for being quiet, Ed. But yes, you're absolutely right. You jump in anytime. So, with that was the shot. You get reports back. Engineering, it's your turn now. You get reports back. The drift drive of the Golden Admiral is damaged. Right now, this ship cannot drift.
We'll deal with drift later.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I want to see if we can disable this one or both shuttles.
Okay.
And if things go particularly well, maybe put a little bit of extra power behind a laser or two.
Okay, give us a roll. Shuttles are the
Oh.
priority, and then the lasers if things go well.
And the
Correct.
captain
Oh.
wants to help.
Yeah.
I wanted to help with that.
You want to help?
help
I didn't see a finger until the last second. Absolutely. Are you going to do an engineering check DC 10 to give him +2 or DC 18 to give him +4?
I will do the DC 10.
Okay. So give me an engineering check. 16, that works. You made the right choice too, because that's not an 18. So that turns that engineering check into a 24. So absolutely, the two small sort of shuttles that have dropped away, you have essentially. Sure, why not? You've hacked their drive system, so they drop away from the ship, and you see them try and fire up, and they don't. And they start to tumble towards the planet as well. Other than that, you get a little extra power to the lasers, which also works with that result. Back to the helm move. Doctor, you're rushing through the ship. There's patients everywhere. Give me that another medicine. The first one. You're just like you're peeling people off, right? Yeah. So again, you're doing this perfectly. You know this crew, right? You can tell from their ranks. These ones are basically medics. These ones are paramedics, and these ones are full-blown doctors like you. So you're sort of that only needs a medic, that needs a paramedic as you're heading through the ship. As you're doing so, you're starting to find more and more heavier, more damaged people as you get closer to engineering. It's not boding well. It looks like there's been a very bad explosion in that region of the ship. Piloting versus the enemy.
Oh.
The enemy did not do well. Okay, you did better than they did. So again, you've gotten yourself in a nice position to give the gunnery people all the advantage you possibly could. So we're already at +2 on the gunnery. Science officer, targeting, scanning. What are you doing?
We're gonna full-blown scan this time.
Okay.
Kind of work out exactly how many people are in there, what's going on with their systems at the moment as well. Just everything that we can glean.
Yep. So give me that scan.
A dirty 20.
A dirty 20. I like those. I like those a lot. You will be rewarded. What you discover is a number of things. This ship is just barely online. It's kind of like the Stingray right now. Like it's running on not very much. Its systems are hit and miss. You can see them sort of fading and coming back in. The other thing you realize is it's starting to engage its drift engines. It's trying to get out of here.
Didn't we already shoot its engines?
You hit the regular engines, the ones that's why it's dropping into the planet.
Note to gunnery. We would like to suggest that you maybe try to aim for the drift engines as they are going to be trying to drift away. Thank you very much, gunnery. This has been science.
Where's the lingerie?
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the man.
Yep.
Also, where's my
Pants.
coffee? I asked for it like 20 minutes ago. You better not have spilled it.
You turn around and it's sitting on the table in front of you.
Thank you, whoever did that, you coffee ninja, you.
Yes. And it is. It's exceptional. It's a fresh roast. You don't know how you got fresh roast coffee this far out in space, but it's that good. So, with that, back to the gunners. You have +2 at the moment to whatever you roll. So you start exhorting your gunners. Maybe you even jump into one of the pods yourself to replace one of the shitty ones.
Oh yeah.
Question.
Get out of
Yes.
here, son.
Yeah.
Who's at the top of the rotation?
We start with engineering.
Okay, that's
So
what I
every
thought.
time we get to engineering, you can go again. So yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. See, we're learning. I don't know either. So this is a person who's never run this game, running this game for a bunch of people that have never played this game. So there's going to be lots of questions, and that's okay. So 25. That's a 15. So it is
27.
not a critical hit. 27 is still not a critical. It had to be a 19 or a 20. Give me first a damage of 4d12 for the one that did hit. Wow. So, yes, the shield just explodes on that side of the ship. And there is a critical hit involved. Enough energy carries through to slam into the port side of this ship. You see an area start to glow and vibrate. Roll a ship critical for me, please. Oh. Large sections of the other ship, you see the lights just dim. And you see in the area that was glowing a number of vents start to spout out the side. At very high magnifications, you can see this. It's air escaping from this failing structure. About a third of the ship just lost pressure.
I'm gonna clap like one of the younger
Yep.
gunnery people that's looking unsure of themselves on the shoulder. Nice job, son.
Back to engineering. You can see it now. You heard him yell. This thing is starting to drift. You can see the blue glow starting to develop around the body of this ship.
I mean, you can try, but how far are you going to get if the exhaust port is closed?
The potato in the tailpipe. I like it.
You're going to do an engineering potato in the tailpipe move? Absolutely.
We're going to see if we can close that tailpipe.
Yep. Why
I'll
not?
help out
Absolutely.
again.
You're going to help
You
out?
bet. So, yeah. So that's going to be an engineering check, and I need you to do an engineering 10 or 18. Your choice.
I'll go for
This is
10
going to be
again.
very difficult.
Oh, of course I get a 24.
But now he gets a 28, so it's still fantastic.
So yes, now you yes, that is, you did the engineering check, and yes, 28, which is spectacular. You managed to you do close that drive port. In the process, the ship starts to shudder because all of that energy is now happening in the ship and it's not being released.
That's a problem.
Yeah, let's helm, I guess. Let's move on. Whew, thinking on the fly. Roll slow for me, would you? Give me a piloting check.
Oh no.
13.
Oh,
Oh, they beat you by 1, so no bonus for gunnery this time as you are in
Sorry.
this dance with this cruiser. Hey, this is the first time you failed. Science officer, what are you doing?
We're going to target all systems on the drift drive.
Okay, so give me a target systems roll.
Ah, that
14.
sucked.
That is insufficient.
That's the first time, though.
Doctor, you shove open the door to engineering. You can see there's a screen in one area of a power screen. These only pop up when there's been a hull breach. So beyond that is zero pressure. Between you and that, there are probably close to a dozen injured. There's only 3 doctors, like full-blown doctors left with you. What would you like to do? Up until now, it's just been kind of patch, but this is ground zero of this accident.
I guess I'd just start asking the others to go about different jobs, and I'll try and kind of take charge of the situation.
Oh, very nice. Yes, makes perfect sense. This is why I asked, is because you know things about your character that I don't. So you, you let all your years of experience just kick in. You're not only a doctor, you're also an officer, and you've got all this experience. And these people are exceptionally good at listening, and they're also doctors. So the four of them with your assistance start immediately working on the worst of the worst and start bringing them back. That officer check also sort of inspires the other people in this area. There were a couple of lightly damaged engineers that were leaning against the wall. They sort of given up. But once you start speaking and telling, giving instructions, it kind of enlivens them again. And they get up and go to control panels and start working on damage control in this area.
Okay. Also, let command know any sort of casualties. Just give them a casualty report.
Absolutely. And it's not a good number, but it's sort of 30 and 40. It could have been 100 very easily. So it could have been a lot worse. You guys and your crew on the way down here saved a lot of people that otherwise would not have been saved. So yes, hellhounds, we'll see if this big bad survives. Anyway, so next, that was helm gunnery. This is it. You have no bonus. Well, you can have the computer bonus to fire at this, and this needs to be a 19 or a 20 raw to call the critical onto those drive engines, those drift engines. This might be a good time to tell our viewing audience, just quickly before you roll. Our viewing audience, I forgot to do this before. You can donate, and you can give these people some help. Nick could really use some help right now. So for 100 bits, less than $2, if somebody does this real quick in chat, he gets to add a 1d6 to whatever he's about to roll. If you really think that's not going to help, if you look at that face and go, that's not a lucky face, you can donate 200 bits, which is still less than $5, and you can give him a reroll. And if you still think that's not going to be enough, if you think that face has rolled all the 20s it's ever going to roll in its life, you can buy him a nat 20 for 500 bits. We'll give people 10 seconds to do that, just to increase the tension. Nobody's going to do it. I'm not waiting. Oh, and that's okay, because next week, this is the last sentence before they give them the chance. Next week, you're also going to have the chance to help me by making their things worse. Oh, the artist among us just donated 200 bits for Nick. So that is a reroll. So first, let's have the roll to see what would have happened if the house artist hadn't come to your rescue. Maybe you don't need rescuing. You're talented. You're skilled. What do you get? A 15, which is good. That's a hit, but it's not a crit. So if you would like, go ahead and use that reroll and try for a 19 or 20.
Yes, sir. No.
That is not a 19 or a 20.
And it's a 19 with all the bonuses done to it, but
Yeah, that is not a natural 19 or 20. So you fire that. Roll me that damage again, 4d12. 18. That's not a huge amount of damage. There is, it strikes into an area that's already been shut down by your last blast. So it kind of blows some bits away, but it doesn't do any damage that wasn't already done to the ship. So nothing critical was hit. And at the end of that, I'm going to give engineering and science one roll each to try and stop this ship from drifting, or at least parts of it.
I'd like to shut down the entirety of the ship's computers by hacking into them from here.
I'd like to
You
help
could
out.
certainly. You're gonna help that. Okay, so give me a computer roll 10 or 18. These
Yeah.
both these rolls are gonna be ridiculously high. Like the DC's over 20 on both of these.
Boom.
I'm gonna try for 18.
Okay,
Okay.
Hello.
and did so.
Just want to ask.
That is
that's
a
a 29.
29. Okay, so let's have our
Mm.
engineer. You had a question.
The exhaust is still closed, right?
It is.
Okay.
You want to know
So-
what's going to happen if this thing drifts with its exhaust closed?
What I was
Part-
going to
Yeah.
ask about is what would happen if I were to see if I could kick the drift into overdrive before it decides to make its merry way with the closed exhaust.
Absolutely, because in the current state, this ship, not all of this ship is going to make the jump. You know, you've done the math before, right? It's going to overheat, and part of it's going to be destroyed. You're going to try and overheat it even more as it heads through. So go ahead and give me an engineering check. It always makes me wait for your rolls. 22. You heat it up slightly more. The process starts, but as you watch the ship, that space twists around the ship, and there's a as large portions of it you see don't even make the jump into the drift. Over half this ship is still here in wreckage form, just floating around the planet. The other bits and pieces, wherever they've gone, they are in no shape to do anything except maybe survive once they get there. Propulsion's gone. Weapons are gone. Maybe there's a little pressure hull left that survived this.
I knew I should have put a tracker on that thing.
Doc, you finish up down in engineering. All that can be done is done. You have saved every single person that you guys touched. You saved. The only ones you didn't save were the ones you didn't get here in time for. The engineers, with your inspiration, have sealed up this wall again and are starting to repressurize the zone. You can hear them yelling reports back to each other about what is and isn't working. Gunnery, they are high-fiving each other. Like these, you remember, all these people are stupidly wealthy. This is, whatever this is, their hobby or some kind of weird thing that they do, whatever it was, they put their asses on the line today, even though they're civilians in fancy uniforms, and they pulled through.
Yeah, they all did well, and that's what matters to me. I don't care where they're from or what they do for fun.
As they start pulling out of these sort of bubbles in front of you, one of them looks up at you, just eyes this big, like they just came, like a 6-year-old that just came off the roller coaster. They're just blown away, and they reach down into their jacket and pull out this little tiny bottle of black, thick, syrupy liquid, and you recognize it. This is called Heart Star, and it's the most expensive liquor in the galaxy. You sniff it. You don't even drink it. You uncork it and have a sniff and put the bottle back in. And he just leans back and reaches up to you like you should know what to do with it.
Just gonna tuck that in a pocket.
Not
Save it for
even
later.
gonna share around.
Yeah, it's kind of habit. Just it's for let's just get back.
There's like
Let's get
100
back.
doses in this thing, right? So yeah, there's plenty in there. Like I said, all you do is sniff it. So anyway, he gives you that. Engineering and science. You guys kind of come out of this and so kind of look at each other because the stations are near each other and your crews are in front of you, and they are, again, they're just blown away by what they've done. They're high-fiving each other and turning around and looking at you guys like, like heroes, like you did something, and they're talking about like, how did you do that? How did you block that? How did, like they're
Well, you
very
see,
impressed.
Well, you see, we had faith in some of you, and you specifically, I looked at one of the guys that did the best, didn't make me want to vomit. I like that.
The admiral was right. He is a dick. Captain,
You bring
yes.
enough thing.
Captain, my
So
captain.
as they're all
Been waiting
like
2 weeks.
celebrating and
Yes.
stuff, I'm still over there after helping him, and I just like go up to him with my arms crossed, and I'm just like, I know more than you think I do. And then I walk away.
Who? Did she say
You.
this to?
That was you that she just bombed.
good.
Yeah. Nobody likes you.
I
Just in
knew
case
you
you
knew
haven't figured
things
that
that
out
I
yet.
thought I didn't know about you, but that
Yeah, just in case you hadn't figured that out, nobody likes Simon. If you were going for charming, you didn't get there. Anyway, the giggling means we must be coming to a close here.
why would I be going for charming?
Pilot, you drop back in your seat, just exhausted because you were flying this thing. You had some help, but you were flying this huge ship, totally out of your comfort zone. You don't know how this thing works, and you did it. You only got hit twice. You did really well. And the other pilot is looking at you just with awe on their face. Captain, my captain. The other captain looks at you and kind of looks around to make sure nobody's looking. And when they realize that nobody is, she holds out her hand and it's just going like that.
I nod knowingly, and then I wink at her. It's like a you did good kid kind of wink.
Yeah, absolutely. And she takes, even though she's older than you, she takes it that way. You are clearly, in her eyes, the superior officer between you and her. In fact, that's kind of the takeaway all of you get. These people are blown away by the skill set you brought to this. But the drift drive on this ship is broken and it's not going anywhere. So you need to go back and get the Stingray if you're going to follow this guy. You also don't know where they went.
Which part he's in.
And as you start to worry about those things and head back to pick up the Stingray, we'll cut away halfway across the galaxy. A asteroid field sits in the sun of a distant universe, or different galaxy, solar system. There it is. That's the word I'm looking for. Asteroid belt in a distant solar system. And you watch as first one little prick of light, and then another, and then 5, and then 10 start to rise off the surface of these asteroids. And they get bigger and bigger as they do, and you realize that they're ships. Ancient ships, but battleships, cruisers, destroyers, fighters, interceptors, all manner of ships start to rise from these asteroids. And in one of the battleships, in the center of the formation, Captain Larkin sits amongst you, or sits there watching, and I'm going to put you guys on this page for the moment, so you can see Larkin and the other guy. The captain sits by himself on the deck of his ship, and in front of him a holographic display shows battle scenes, battle plans. And as his finger flicks through an invisible holographic switch, they change. Another and another. They're all annotated. They've got branching possibility trees. They cover over 1,000 different possible situations. And yet the captain is frowning. Flick, 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 flick. And that's where we'll drop the curtain on tonight. For anybody who was watching who does know the Starfinder rules, I did a real quick run through of a combat between a destroyer and a cruiser, and it took me playing all the parts over 4 hours to disable one of the ships. So that's why I dramatically shortened the combat sequence tonight, because we don't have 4 hours to do one fight. So, with that, I'm going to institute a new thing tonight. I want to go around the table very quickly before we get out of here, and hear where is your character right now? Where's their headspace? So let's start with Simon.
Simon is thinking carefully and going, "Where the hell can I get that coffee stuff?"
We still haven't got through to Simon. We still haven't got in to the real Simon. I love it. Miranda, you flew with the best today. Where's her head at?
So she's pretty proud of herself right now.
Yeah.
And she knows Simon doesn't want her in the library, but that's where she's going to be celebrating by reading a book in the library.
All fair.
He's going
Captain-
to reluctantly hand you an ebook while he's thinking about coffee and how he'll never get to have that magnificent nirvana again.
Captain Steele.
I think she's just basking in the glow of a confirmation of her magnificence.
Yep. Somebody's realized how amazing you are. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. How about our engineer?
I mean, it's a small ship, so he's probably found a spot in the hallway. Drone's kind of sitting near a vent kind of next to him. He's happy kind of how things turned out with the ship, but at the same time realizing kind of how close he was to some dangers and some people he's kind of ticked off before.
Sure. Yeah.
So kind of getting that from what he did, actually having people not saved. He's saved kind of people doing what he's done before, but in a slightly different way. But people actually like happy and kind of proud, kind of have him tell them what to do is definitely different.
Big boost to the confidence, I would imagine. For somebody who kind of lacks that, I get the feeling Frederick's not big on self-confidence. But someone who is big on self-confidence, so the way I read it, is our doctor. Where's his head at tonight? They'd listened to you at the start. They went back and looked for survivors. There weren't any, but at least they tried. And then you got to, at the end, you got to actually doctor a little bit. So where's our doctor's headspace at?
Well, the doctor is happy to have gone back to help some, or at least try and help some people. The fact that he got to help people on this ship makes him happy, and for the most part, he's probably just staying on task. I'm sure his work isn't over. Everybody's
Sure.
still injured and still need
Yeah.
to be looked after. So he's mainly just
Absolutely.
focusing on that, and he's mostly
Still very-
ignoring any sort of praise and just
Yeah,
like,
just
whatever.
mission driven. Our man's used to. I mean, doctors, right, are used to being. If anybody, I think, is used to being a hero, sort of field medic. Doctor is probably kind of, yeah, I do this all the time.
It's
was
just the
awesome.
job. It's the job.
Yeah. I'm amazing. I know. No need to clap. You can if you want, but there's no need. That sounds much more like Simon. And that brings us to our gunner, who really finally rolled like the moose tonight. There was 2 crits and a bunch of 20 pluses, and
Making up
how's
for those
Moose
ones
feeling? He's
last
got a
week.
crew underneath him now.
Quite impressed with the fact that a bunch of lazy, soft, rich types could actually perform in such a way.
Yeah.
Actually wanted to kind of sneak in a little after action party thing. I'm gonna drag that whole group off. That bottle with the 100 doses of fancy shit's gonna get broken out. And in that process, I'm going to convince them to steal what I'm assuming is a gold-plated coffee machine, and 25 pounds of coffee will be sitting in our little mess deck when Simon gets back into the ship.
Yep. To make so that's the plan. You bring this up to your new wasted friends in the middle of the party because that's when you bring up ideas like that, and it might take a bit of the edge off of it, but they give you this stuff. You don't have to steal it. Although you decide
That's
it would
not
be
what I'm
more
gonna
fun
tell
to steal
Simon.
it, so you guys go and steal
Oh,
it
yeah.
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I
It's just
imagine
the way
it's
it
a
works, man.
very. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I imagine it's a very drunken. Like they give it to you as you're stealing it.
yes.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what you're doing. It's yes, we got away with
Yes.
it, and yes, people are going, "Bravo, sir!"
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Oh,
the
you
officers
couldn't have done-
are sitting at the other end of the cafeteria, going, "At least they didn't break anything."
Saga's trying to get some of that Huffy stuff.
So
I mean,
with that,
She knows what it is.
oh yes. So with that, and you didn't quite get him. I thought there was a chance. I mean, if those rolls had been slightly higher, you would have actually killed the big bad tonight, and I would have had to figure out what to do. But he managed to get away just barely at the end. So next
That's
week
what
we
you call
will be
success.
back with the next step in this little passion. So we popped out and popped back in again. Sorry, but yes, I was just about to do my 8 thank yous, so I'm going to do those now. Thank you very much, Scarred. Always a pleasure, and it's been great because for 2 weeks I've been expecting like sort of Richard or Lucas to show up, and this is so the other end of the spectrum. I don't care that nobody likes him. I love Simon. He is a lovable dick, and I love him. Thank you for
Oh, I
bringing
love
him to
him,
my
yeah.
table.
I think everyone loves him. I think just the characters go, it's
They
Simon.
hate the character. They love the fact that the way that you're playing him. Oh, Sans, our pilot extraordinaire. Thank you so much for coming with us on this journey. Always a pleasure. Your face, your reactions when stuff happens is worth the price of admission. I love it. Thank you so much. And just moving down the line, Wayward. Oh, so much fun. I like Saga. I'm starting to see her now. She's starting to come out. She's almost as much of a dick as Simon, but in a really different way. And I like that. You guys have all got the right to be arrogant. You are the best of the best. You beat 1,000 other people to be here. The fact that your character's got a little bit of attitude makes perfect sense. And you guys are now like you're playing with the best now. So now it's like outdoing each other. So I expect this tension to not go away. I love it. Don't make it leave. The exact antithesis of tension though. Oh man, Frederick, this engineer externally is so calm. Like just I'm doing my job. I'm doing my shit. And inside is just like I'm trying not to throw up. I'm trying not to throw up. What's yeah, thank you so much for bringing that. I know you don't have a big ton of experience role playing at all. So to see you playing this complicated character who's different on the inside and different on the outside, thank you for trusting yourself enough to do that. It's working really well. I really like Frederick. And I'm waiting to see when he opens up and who he opens up to. That's going to be a really interesting bit there. Oh, I want to call you Doc. I don't know why. Barsden. Thank you for you're that classic role player, right? You're the guy I grew up with. You know the rules. You know the setting. You know how this works. It is a pleasure to play with somebody that's at that sort of same sort of space in their gaming career that I am. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for DMing.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love it. And Nick, you finally got the shoot stuff. You finally got the shoot stuff. Twitch.tv, Roostbar. Go watch him shoot some other stuff there. But thank you very much for hanging around. I know you didn't get to shoot much the first night, and when you did, it went poorly. So thank you for coming around. The dice always come around in the end, and they worked tonight, and they helped us tell the story. And thank you for helping me tell that story too. Appreciate all 6 of you. Also appreciate the people in chat and the viewers. This is a big deal. We got a lot of views from last week. We had, I think it's pushing 60 people have watched the VOD in the last week. So for a first episode, that was amazing. And for anybody that is watching and for all the people on YouTube, you're getting a thank you as well. Episode 1 is going up tomorrow. Episode 2 will go up the day after. So we're going to double team them and get them both out there, bang, bang. So everybody will get notifications over the 2 days and they can get all caught up before the weekend's over. That's the plan. You're only 2 episodes behind. There's nothing to catch up, almost nothing to catch up on. So with that, until next week, thank you to everybody, and please be nice to each other. Bye.